In 1973, Tommy's dad, Paul Giancos, who was just a young man at the time, travelled with his father to the city of Melbourne on a mission to buy him his first car. The car they picked out was a brand new lime green Ford Falcon XA Superbird hardtop. The Superbird became the family car, their daily driver. As kids, Tommy's mum used to take them everywhere in it, such as shopping, school, sports, relatives' houses, everywhere. Until one night when Paul lost control of the car, rolling it into a ditch not far from where he lived. Paul did not have any car insurance to cover the accident damage, and with the car being in such a bad beaten up state of disrepair, Paul decided not to fix it. So the decision was made to take it back home, where it sat on their farm for approximately 20 years. Tommy loved that car. He recalls one of his fondest memories was sitting on his mum's lap behind the steering wheel, steering it down their long driveway on the farm. Tommy said, "You can imagine me coming to the shed every day for 20 years, firstly as a child, then as an adult working on the farm. I'd see the car every day. It was never covered up with a tarp or anything, so it was visible to anyone who visited the shed." The drive and passion to fix the car was always in Tommy, but he had to wait till he was able to do it, as it would not be quick or cheap to fix. The car sat exposed to the elements for 20 years on the farm, until one day in 2013, Tommy realised that if he didn't start the project soon, there would be nothing left of the car to restore. Now, unlike some car restoration stories, where the owner spends all his time for years working on the car bit by bit, Tommy did not have the skills needed for a restoration like this. His main role in the process was that of a project manager, organising work to be done, having the car shipped from one location to another, and spending years sourcing all the rare parts needed for the car using Facebook and car enthusiast forums. Tommy ended up joining many groups to enlist people's help to find the parts needed, as Ford XA Coupe parts are very rare and scarce at the best of times. Tommy left the car in the hands of two professionals, Mark Stevens and Jody Vincentorio. Mark worked on pulling the car apart and fully reconditioning the engine and running gear because of his vast experience with working on 1970s Fords, while Jody did all the panel beating and paint job on the car. Tony was confident of Jody's skills as he had two cars himself which made the top 10 in Summer Nats car show in Australia. Now when it came time to repairing the car, I had one question I was dying to ask Tommy. How did you fix that roof? It was in such bad shape. Tommy replied, "The roof was unrepairable. I had to find another shell to use its roof as a donor. I ended up finding one on Facebook. I drove out to the property and bought it for $2,500. The car was full of rust, but the roof was in a reasonably good condition. The roof on the Sunbird was cut off, then Jody painstakingly attached the donor roof to my car. And because these cars are so rare, I was able to resell the donor shell without a roof for $2,100. Because the car sat on the farm exposed to weather for many years, the car was full of rust and all materials inside the car had degraded badly. This all contributed to the excessive cost of the rebuild." Tommy mentioned they even had trouble fitting the replacement glass. Pieces were not fitting or sitting right in the car. Tommy had to spend a lot of money to have the glass seated correctly. But every bit of rust, body damage and imperfection was fixed on the car, bit by bit over the course of its rebuild. The body went through extensive work before it was prepped for painting. Then the car was resprayed in its original two-tone colours with the stripes on the bonnet. The engine is the original engine that came with the car when his father bought it. Mark Stevens totally rebuilt the engine by having the block crack tested, then replacing all of the old engine parts with new ones. The automatic transmission is also the same original that came with the car and totally rebuilt for the restoration. As the car was coming close to being completed, Tommy had to source all the small parts that make up the interior of the car, such as seatbelts, door panels, trim, knobs and switches etc., with all the parts being period correct. Tommy wanted the car to look not only factory original, but the way it was before it was rolled. He even went so far as copying the same exhaust design the car had prior to the crash. Tommy also made sure all the door trims, carpets and roof linings were all factory original. Even the decals on the paint were copied from factory originals. But there was one spot of luck. The original rear window sunshade louver sat in the boot of the car for 25 years and now sits proudly back on the rear window as it once did. Now I have done a few of these car restoration stories now, and I rarely get to know all the money spent on the car, but in this case I do. So here is a short list of how much money was spent. Car disassembly, engine reconditioning, running gear reconditioning and car reassembly, $35,000. All bodywork, including replacing donor roof, rust repair, fitting of glass and paint job, $50,000. Interior, including dash and console restoration, door skins, carpets and steering wheel, $3,300. All car parts and accessories, new or reconditioned, $15,000. Auto finishing, including polishing and chrome work, $3,000. For a total spend of $106,300. Now I know that sounds like a lot of money for an old 70s car, but these old Fords sell for a lot of money in Australia. Ford coupe prices have gone through the roof lately. People in the industry have told Tommy the car could fetch anywhere between $120,000 and $150,000, but the car is not for sale. Tommy's intention was never to fix up the car to sell it. He wanted to restore the car to its original condition and present it to his parents. The reaction of his parents when they see the finished car is what really makes this story so special. And here it is.
Hello!
Oh,
Hey!
my God.
We found something.
That car brings back a lot of memories. That's what
I told him. I said,
Oh,
your mum,
Chris, it's you!
it's your mum and dad are going to ball their eyes out. Sit inside, Mum. Sit inside.
Oh my God. Oh shit, well done.
Tommy's parents did not want the car back, as it was given to him as a gift, as they knew he wanted to restore it one day. Tommy plans on one day handing this car down to his son, when he is old enough and wise enough to own it. He will be the third generation owner in their family, and lucky to hold a piece of Australian history. In the meantime, Tommy will continue to look after the car. He takes it out most weekends when the weather is good, and takes it to car shows when it suits. A lot of time, money and effort was spent restoring this car, but it was not done to make a profit. It was done for the love he had for the car as a child and for the love of his parents. And I think that showed in their reaction, which you can't put a price on. Now I would just like to end this video by thanking Tommy for working with me for 2 months to put this story together. Thanks, mate. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.